talk about what people can expect coming to the concert you're thinking of, and you can even say, I'm going to do the unexpected too. But what can you expect with you and Dan? It sounds like it's just going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I can second that because I've played with him enough in these various situations, just as a duo, which is a very direct communication and exchange of information without having to include a bass concept and sound and drum sound. Those are all very vital sounds for a specific kind of expression, and I love that situation. But and here we are doing a series of about 5 concerts as a duo, and this is direct communication, I have to call it, because we don't really plan what we're playing at all. We might mention a tune that we know and try to get as far away from the way we played it the last time as possible. That's the fun in playing like this.
Well, I know that one of the many reasons that Abe was just delighted to connect with you and bring you here to Iowa is that, as he says it, his take on your music is the melodies may sound familiar to you, but the improvisations are always inspired and fresh.
Well, that's kind of the combination of starting from a known point and trying to develop it in a meaningful way. Sometimes the so-called young guys doing so-called avant-garde expression sound like they're chasing me out of the room with their screeching and screaming and making all kinds of unpleasant sounds. But this is trying to play, music as we respect it and as spontaneously as possible. And it's a great thrill when that really comes off correctly. Sometimes you try it and it indicates that it's going in a direction, but doesn't reach it. But sometimes there it is, and everything you play adds up to something which is like a blessing. You know.
And therein lies the core thrill, I think, of making sure you folks schedule February 19th out at Caspe Terrace to hear the Lee Konitz duo perform out there, because it will be a very unique experience. It'll be a show that will never be repeated again. It's not like what
recorded, so people can have copies of it if they want.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Let's talk some about your background, your history. I don't know where to start because you have been a practitioner of the art for well over 60 years, which gives you just a library of stuff from which to draw. But one thing, I was looking at the allaboutjazz.com website, and you're regarded as the preeminent cool jazz saxophonist. Now, one thing I do on my show is I encourage my listeners to be cultural adventurers. So if someone hasn't gone to a jazz concert, folks, this is one to go to. Mark it down. And what I'm getting at is when they call you a cool jazz saxophonist, what do they mean by that, Lee?
I think they mean that I'm not pushing the point, trying to play hot, meaningful music, like Charlie Parker played, but he played it with a genius of organization that made it very, very accessible and special. But just starting to from scratch and not having all of those standards to go by, which is good taste and good rhythmic expression and et cetera, the things that we try for in playing known music, given music. The same kind of standards apply to the improvised music.
Tell us, how did you connect with Dan? Because it's not like you are contemporaries. You're 55 years apart, aren't you?
Something like that, yeah. We just, met some playing situation in some club, probably. I don't remember specifically the first meeting, but we hit it off immediately and had an opportunity to perform together, and it worked. So I'm very pleased that we can continue to do that.
What are some of the ways that you see the kind of legacy you've been part of in your generation of jazz musicians being passed on to the younger generations?
Well, hopefully, kind of the things I've been trying to express in terms of playing meaningfully and not showfully, so to speak. I'm very turned off by exhibitionists. So I would tend to play softer and slower tempos to make sure that each note is the right volume and the right pitch and all of those details that make the music close to perfection, if you will, or somewhere in that area.
Well,
the pieces that I have enjoyed, and I've made a couple hundred records over all of those years, and I've been trying to search through all of the records and listen to them, sometimes many years later. And when I grab some of them and listen, I'm saying, wow, boy, did I really do that? Usually very pleased overall, and that's a great reward for me, of course. That's
a great testament to any artist to be able to pick up and look at their work retrospectively and say, I hit it there.
Yeah. A lot of guys kind of pass it off and say, no, I don't want to hear that. It sucked, and there was nothing really happening. But when they're alone, oh, boy, they get all excited and just embarrassed to admit it. But I admit it happily,
Well, that's great for you. I love how when Abe Goldstein put together a little promotional blurb about you, how he talks about you and Dan. Enjoy the conversation as the sonority of Tepfer's dynamics intertwine with the dry resonance of Konitz's alto. You'll hear them explore songs from the American Songbook, jazz classics, and originals. Audiences seem to intuitively understand that something unique is going on. They pay attention in the way that people do when they genuinely don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, right.
And that is what you can expect, folks. Make sure that you have February 19th blocked off. This is something to enjoy with a significant other, with a group of friends that really want to have a unique musical experience, something that you have is kind of a legendary meeting here out at Caspe Terrace. Contact Abe Goldstein to make sure you have tickets, 515-974-4707, or just email him, abe@trilixgroup.com, and you can make sure you have your tickets for the Lee Konitz duo on February 19th. Lee, any parting shots? A
special affinity with this man who called me, and I couldn't hear him very well on the phone, but I heard the word Abe, and I said, well, that was my father's first name, so I connected immediately on that basis.
Destiny.
Yeah.
I love destiny. Any parting comments to share with the audiences in advance of your concert, Lee?
Just that if there's any questions in the act of doing this concert, I'd like to be able to speak with the audience when it's necessary and connect that way also. Sometimes very interesting observations happen, and we all benefit from that.
Well, I love the fact that you are so willing to plunge in whichever direction the situation brings you. You continue to be an inspirational and fresh creator and innovator, and that is something delightful to see in a man who's just 80-something years young. So. Yep. Lee Konitz, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your interest.
Well, we look forward to having you here in Iowa. Until then, take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.